Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're talking about effective business communications. We're always communicating in business. It's how we get the work done. Problem is, 9 times out of 10, we're not communicating in a very effective way, and this is costing us. But now, if I'm going to make the posit that we are not communicating in an effective way, we first need to talk about, well, what is the problem? Why do I think we are not communicating effectively? Then, once we establish that, we'll talk about how to do it right. So the first problem is we need to understand that, well, we're really talking in business speak most of the time. We're not communicating well. Let me give you an example. This is just a teeny tiny part of a 20-page single-spaced, what was it? It was a response to an RFP, okay? It was basically a proposal to design a corporate intranet with a tech company, all right? Well, look at this. What are we going to do to build this website? We're going to use a constituent-centric design approach with early input from business consumers, using design thinking best practices to help inform user needs and expectations. Of course, we're going to do that, right? Of course, we're going to establish a consensus understanding of the IT standard platform capabilities and components, a directional representation of platform agnostic foundational needs, and I'm not even going to keep reading that. It is bullshit. Okay? Now, this is really common. I did not have to look hard to find this example from my past work history. This is pretty darn common. Well, what's going on here? Well, in business, bullshit, bullspeak, business speak, it's a real epidemic. I mean, this is all over the place, and it's a problem. So, definition of bullshit, okay? Something that isn't so much false as it is phony. Something that is designed to impress, but that was constructed absent direct concern for the truth. Although it is produced without concern for the truth, it need not be false. So there was nothing false or lying about what we just saw in that proposal, but it really wasn't trying very hard to communicate open truth, right? In the book, it was a leadership in Business Finance magazine. Bullspeak was defined as, bullspeak is the language of business, otherwise known as corporate doublespeak, buzzwords, or just plain old BS. This style of speaking seems to be encouraged in most large organizations. Business people are enamored with big words, acronyms, and phrases with multiple interpretations. Seems to be encouraged? Let me tell you, from my 25 years corporate experience, most of it in the tech industry, it is not seemingly encouraged. It is outright required. It's a sad state of affairs. Okay, so why do we do this? Why do we speak like idiots? Well, truth is, there are some both good reasons and bad reasons. But all these reasons are really rooted in what is the purpose of our communication. What are we trying to achieve in communicating? Now, I like this quote here. The purpose of this bullspeak that we're talking about is elaborate ritual and language designed to bamboozle and mystify and intimidate. Well, that's more on the negative side, right? But let's look at some of the positives. Again, all rooted in the purpose of communicating. So here are the positive reasons why we speak this way. One is we want to be taken seriously. I want you to take me seriously. You want me to take you seriously. And so this use of language is a way to kind of invite others to view us as educated and informed and experienced, and to view us as credible, right? Ultimately, we want to be perceived as intelligent, informed, credible, trustworthy. And so the use of this language kind of is an attempt to invite those sentiments from others. Another reason we use this kind of corporate jargon is for economy of language. I actually really like this reason, and I use a lot of corporate jargon because it's a great way to say a lot in just a little bit. I used to work for Intel Corporation, and phrases that we would use at Intel is like, I have a hard stop. Well, what does it mean that you have a hard stop, say at 2 o'clock? Well, let's say that you're getting on a phone meeting, and the meeting is from 1 to 2. And at 2 o'clock, you have something you have to do. It's not negotiable. It's you have to go off to another meeting, or you have to get some work done, or whatever. Now, every once in a while, a meeting runs late. And so what you do at the beginning of the meeting is, instead of saying, hey, dear meeting organizer, I have this important thing that I have to do at 2 o'clock, so I am going to leave the meeting at 2. I'm not going to stick around. If you ask, can we just have 5 more minutes? I'm going to have to push back. Just say, hey, by the way, just to let you know, I have a hard stop at 2 o'clock. And the culture of the company is such that you respect hard stops. And so at 2 o'clock, I can literally just hang up the phone without saying a word, because I have already informed the meeting organizer that I have a hard stop at 2 o'clock. And I will not get in trouble or be considered rude for hanging up, because I already excused myself at the beginning with this highly economical language of I have a hard stop. Let's go after low-hanging fruit to win stakeholder support. We all know what that means, and yet it says a lot. I'll take the action item, or at Intel, it was an AR, action required. But these are just really short kind of, what was... My wife back in the day would write in shorthand. There we go. These are shorthand ways of saying some pretty involved ideas. All right. It's also to establish groups, right? To really kind of be part of the organization, the in-group. We use this with slang. We use this with jargon. We use this with the way we dress and the way we carry ourselves. We are telegraphing to others that I am part of this collective, and I've got your back and you've got my back. And so business speak is a way of basically speaking a different language that only those on the inside know. And it's like the password to the clubhouse, right? Okay, these are some fine reasons for business speak. Problem is, there are some pretty awful reasons as well. And these are the ones that really seem to take over and concern me the most. One is to obfuscate. And I use that word intentionally because it's business speak. Obfuscate means to render obscure, unclear, or unintelligible, to hide bad information in plain sight. If you're speaking in these haughty terms and so forth, you can say, well, the last quarter demonstrated to us that, blah, blah, blah. I can't even make this crap up on the fly. Actually, I can. I'm pretty proficient at this, but somehow right now. Anyway, the point is, you can deliver some bad news and nobody will ever know that you just delivered bad news because they didn't understand a word you said. That's what I mean there. All right. You can also, weaponize boredom. If I don't want you to pay real close attention to what I'm saying, I want to obfuscate some bad news, I'm going to try to put you to sleep. I'm going to speak in these gross generalities using verbose language and multisyllabic terms to put you to sleep because I don't want you to pay attention. Or maybe I'm trying to intimidate you. Maybe I'm trying to telegraph that I'm the smartest one in the room, and that you don't want to challenge me. So when I ask, are there any questions? I don't want you to raise any questions because I don't want to be put on the spot. So I'm going to intimidate you to silence. Maybe I'm going to speak in a way that suggests that everything I say is incontrovertibly true, and that if you were to challenge me, you would look like an idiot. You would look like a fool, and you don't want that. So you're bored out of your skull. You don't know what I'm saying. You don't understand it. You're intimidated by me and my position, and everything I'm saying is incontrovertibly true. Therefore, when I say any questions, the room is going to be crickets. And that's what I want if I'm delivering bad news or I don't want to be challenged. Another reason we use this kind of language is to create the perception of difficulty over ease. So we're over-engineering something. So you remember that example I gave earlier of a 20-page single-spaced proposal to build an intranet website that was written in that heinous language. That is a quintessential example of trying to over-engineer a task, because ultimately they wanted to charge $1 million. And actually the company bought it, just so you know. They charged $1 million, more than $1 million, to basically build a website. And one of the reasons they were able to do this is because they made the task look so difficult and nigh unto impossible, when in fact these things are built every single day in basements and garages. It's not a big deal. But by over-engineering how difficult it looks, you can charge more. So that's what I mean by ineffective business communication. So if that's the case, what is effective business communication? Well, let's talk about that. The first thing your communication needs to be is compelling. Right off the bat, whether you're writing an email, giving a presentation, or, in a phone call, what have you, you need to make your communication compelling. You need to clearly state what is in it for the recipient. Okay, what's in it for me, we call this. Why should the recipient care? If I get an email from you, why should I care? It's a cost-benefit analysis, folks. Listen, you have limited time, you have limited energy, you have limited resources, you have a limited cognitive resources, attention to give. And so if I fail to express to you what's in it for you to pay attention to this material, then you won't pay attention. It's not your fault, it's my fault. It's my fault. So I need to make sure that I clearly state to you what's in it for you to pay attention to this material. By the way, did I do that? I don't think so. I don't think I did. But that's all right. That's where we are. This is what you want to do. Okay. And then you want to be direct. Okay. You want to make sure that the purpose of your communication, why you're communicating, is direct and clear. Now, one of the ways that we do this is by using what we call here the inverted pyramid. You put the most important stuff up at the top. Okay, so if we're writing an email or a report or a presentation, what have you, the who, what, when, where, how, why is clearly stated at the top. So if I'm writing an email, I want to say, hey, this is who I'm sending it to you. This is what I need you to do. This is how you do it. This is where you do it. This is why you should do it. Because frankly, you're not going to read the whole email. You're not going to read it. Unless it's a really nice short email. Mwah, those things are beautiful. But most of the time, we don't read through everything. We're just looking at what's in it for me and what do I need to do. So the inverted pyramid idea is put the most important, less important, least important, and then management is always saying, oh, but you need to add our mission statement to the email. Oh, no one cares about our mission statement, but management loves to think that people care about the mission statement. Yes, I'm thinking of an experience I had, okay? Ask me in the comments and I'll tell you this story. Anyway, this is what you want to do. So make sure that they get the information they need right off the bat. They have limited time. Don't waste their time. All right. Make sure the call to action is stated immediately and is direct. What do you want me to do? Don't make me read an epistle to figure out that you want me to click this link and register for this, that, or the other. Just tell me, hey, everybody needs to register for this by the end of the week. All right, I'll do it. Simple, clear, and concise, right? Keep words and sentences simple, avoiding copious use of industry-specific words or acronyms. I like to call this the grandmother test, and this is not a diss to any of our grandmothers. Here's the idea. Think about what you do for a living and tell somebody at work and they will understand you. But if you tell your grandmother the very same thing, what you do or how you do it, your grandmother, who is not ensconced, is not part of this organization or this industry, won't understand a thing. When you're communicating, pretend as though you're communicating with somebody who is not deeply embedded in all the industry terms and acronyms and phrases and so on and so forth. Follow the grandmother test, the grandmother rule. Simple, clear, and concise. Avoid details that are not directly related to the call of action. And we're call to action. We're going to show an example here pretty soon. But yeah, sometimes there's, these emails or these reports are full of all kinds of stuff that don't care. Doesn't matter. Just tell me what I need to know, how to do it, when I need to do it by, and why it's important. That's all I need to know. Natural and friendly. You're speaking with human beings, folks. So sentences should flow in a natural way. Great way to figure out is read your email or your report, whatever you're crafting, read it out loud. And if when you read it out loud, it sounds weird, it's not written in natural, friendly language. So use that little trick, all right? And talk to your audience, not about them, right? So instead of an email says, hey, all employees need to, or students need to, or customers should, say, you should do this. You need to follow up on this by the end of the week if you want to get your promotion. You need to, so on and so forth, right? So just make it that little bit more personal. Then you want to be credible and transparent. The origin of the message should be clear, both in terms of the sender and the organization. This is why you often hear people say you need to write in first person, not third person. And you're kind of like, what's the difference between first and third person? Well, third person kind of hides or obfuscates who's making a decision or who's requiring something, right? So for example, if I say it has been decided that raises will not be given out this year, all right, you're hiding who made that decision, why did they make that decision, and what are they going to do instead, right? So, but if you just say, hey, it has been decided that raises will not be given out this year, that's third person. Whereas if you say the HR, the payroll HR committee around compensation headed up by Joe, Linda, Bob, and Emily has decided that raises will not be given out. Well, now Joe, Bob, Linda, and Emily have nowhere to hide, but they're owning their decision and they can justify their decision. They can explain it. We go over this in other lectures and so forth. But the point is, you want to be transparent. You want to avoid spin. Oh, I hate spin. What's spin? Well, spin is presenting information in a favorable light by emphasizing positive aspects and downplaying or ignoring negative aspects. The goal of spin is to shape the interpretation and perception of the message for public relations purposes, right? Respect your audience. Let me give you an example of spin. This is an email I got some time back. Just so you know, for some context here, it talks about convocation, the convocation meeting. All faculty hate convocation. I'm sorry, leadership, if you're watching this, you already know it. It's a required all-day series of meetings the day before classes start. So right when you really want to get in and set up your classes, the institution has us come in and do a series of all-day meetings. Okay, well now, with that context, check this out. Hi, my summer refreshed faculty. My guess is most of you worked hard during the summer as you do all year long. You know, okay, so now hold on. Are you talking to summer refreshed faculty who didn't work during the summer? Or are you talking to, you so hard workers? You know, most of you worked hard as you do all year long. Okay, so you're kissing up. I'm sorry, you're kissing up. And it's very inauthentic, all right? Fall semester is coming so soon. Good news. Okay, I need to have the professor from Futurama come up. Good news, everyone. We're having an unprecedented convocation meeting on Monday, blah, blah, blah. Good news. An unprecedented convocation meeting. In other words, all these meetings you're used to going to on this day that you don't like going to meetings, we have another one. Isn't that exciting? This is unprecedented. What's going to happen at this meeting? Oh my gosh. Ooh, are you as giddy as I am? We're going to introduce Faculty Association leadership. Oh my gosh. And then we're going to report how faculty and staff can collaborate to reduce COVID risk. Squeak. Okay, I mean, come on. This is spin. This is spin in its most egregious form. You just need to say, hey, listen, folks, we know you don't like meetings, but we've got one more. Sorry, but this is important. COVID's going on. We need to talk about how we're going to cooperate, how we're going to collaborate to make this happen. So put another meeting on your calendar. Yeah, I know we don't love them, but we got to do it. Be transparent and honest. Don't spin it like this. Finally, when it comes to credible and transparent facts and statistics are attributed to a credible source. If you're bringing data to the party, and if you're working in business communication, you better be bringing data, then make sure it's robust data and that you're sharing where you got it, okay? Finally, yes, grammar and spelling matter. And I'm sure there are spelling errors in this presentation. I just threw it together. But the truth of the matter is we judge books by their covers. And if we're not paying attention to our spelling and grammar, the idea is that we don't pay attention to the details, and we do not want to give that impression. All right? So there you go. These are some ways that you can improve your business communications to be more clear, direct, and more accessible to your audience, and ways that you can basically beat down all that corporate bull speak that we discussed earlier. All right? Hey, there you go. Thanks a lot for joining, and until we talk again, have a fantastic day. Hey, thanks a lot for watching this video. And, well, if you're still here, you're a special kind of awesome. There are other ways that you can support this channel that we would like to invite you to consider. For example, we have accounts at both Patreon and YouTube Community. They offer a variety of benefits. It's the very same benefits at the same price levels. So whichever platform you prefer, whether Patreon or YouTube Community, we invite you to take a look at what's waiting there for you. What else do we have? We also have merch. I know, right? Every YouTube channel, it's like we're federally mandated to offer merch. Well, we offer merch as well. But in addition to hats and coats and things like that, we also offer study materials such as case studies and articles and study guides, or even PowerPoint presentations. These are things that you can use in your own lectures or in your own personal or professional studies. We also have an Amazon affiliate link. It's in the description below. And like any other affiliate link, it doesn't cost you a penny more to order through this link. However, it really helps the channel. Furthermore, we also have a newsletter called the Brainery Bulletin, and we would love to have you subscribe. In this bulletin, I have a variety of, behind-the-scenes pictures and updates, things that I'm working on that you can look forward to seeing in your queue here soon. I also offer a variety of live stream workshops to all of my subscribers, so take a look at that. And then finally, if you like Nutshell Brainery, you'll love our podcasts as well. Once again, links in the description, so take a look and we would love to have you as our newest listener. All right, thanks again, and this time for real, until we talk again, have a fantastic day.